What's up guys, Tubby here, aka Shay, and you are watching episode 17 of The Creative Quest. 17 episodes. I can't believe we're like on episode 17 already. I've done 17 episodes on this YouTube channel. That's pretty awesome. I know I wasn't like super to the T consistent about it, but I can always get better at that. The fact that I have put out 17 videos, that's like I just feel really good about that. All right, enough about being proud of myself. We're gonna get right into the episode. So the past couple episodes we've been in kind of this mini series. My cat just squeaked to the door. That's hilarious. We've been in this mini series all about the grind and the hustle and the work that it takes to, live a life fueled with creativity and build a life on your creativity. I'm in the middle of that journey of becoming a full-time creative, and am I in no way a, music industry guru or somebody who is going to sell you a course or anything like that. I'm just an artist that is trying to figure out how to do this, and I'm sharing my journey with y'all through this vlog series. So last week I let y'all behind the scenes into kind of my day-to-day, week-to-week life as a full-time musician here in Memphis. So you kind of got to see what my work life looks like and my creative life looks like. And this week I really wanted to talk about something that definitely has to do with the hustle and grind topic here, but it's just something I've been thinking about. Being on YouTube and watching videos and being on social media more and watching the social space where all this stuff is kind of going on. There's one thing that I've noticed, and that is your hustle and your grind is going to look different than my hustle and my grind. So there's a lot of YouTube channels out there, and there's a lot of people out there who, are professionals in the music industry, or they are full-time creatives, or they're full-time YouTubers or whatever, and they're giving their advice and they're giving their steps to success kind of thing, or they're selling courses. And I follow a lot of those channels, and I've been watching and learning a lot from those people. But one thing that I'm realizing is that as helpful as their advice may be, not all of it is going to be helpful to where I'm at personally in my journey as a artist. And so there's some things that I can take and apply to what I'm doing now, and there's some things that just aren't really going to work for me in my situation. And so in this world of like social media and videos and content, we're comparing ourselves to other people. And while I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, I think that it can be a bad thing. So comparison can be good, because if you're watching somebody else and what they're doing and you're thinking to yourself, oh, hey, maybe I should try that out. That's a really good idea. And you're learning from that person. And maybe you're gaining knowledge that you didn't before, or you're gaining, an idea that you wouldn't have thought of on your own. That's really helpful. But when comparison becomes competitive comparison is when it kind of starts to, it can hurt you, and it can be super unhealthy. So all of us artists have generally the same goal. We want to be able to support ourselves with our art. We want to be able to be full-time at whatever our creative craft may be. So the destination is the same, but the route varies from person to person depending on their situation. And so lots of different variables come into play. So you have your geographical location and your city, and where you live, really plays into what resources are available to you, your economic status, your family status. For me, I live in Memphis. It isn't really a huge city, and the music scene here is really weird. There's a lot of emphasis on what Memphis is known for, the music that's 50 years ago. There's a huge tourism scene that's built around Memphis music, and so that's where I found employment, and that's where I've connected. My husband, he's an audio engineer, a producer. He's working on building a business with his studio. I am really lucky because I have access to a studio right in my own home, and that cuts out a lot of costs that other musicians have or other artists have that I don't have to pay. But that kind of comes with its own challenge, is since we have all that gear and we have all of those capabilities, we have to have space to house that. It actually increases our costs. Maybe not as much as, paying a producer or paying studio time, but still we have to accommodate for those tools. So like you saw in my last video, I've been able to figure out how to spin these different plates and stay in employment situations that have to do with music that involve me performing or teaching. And that may not be available to everyone. That may not be like the right thing for you. You may have like kids or something like that, or you may not be able to work out something like that just because of whatever variables you have in your situation. And everybody's like mental health is different, and everybody's relationships are different. And so there's just all these different, factors that come into play that determine, which route you're going to take on your way to your destination. I think it's important to be careful you don't obsess over doing exactly what someone else is doing. And I know that I am notorious for this, where I'm like, well, this person is doing this and they've done all the research and they have all the knowledge, and I need to do this and think this way in order to be successful. And I can become very obsessive over that, and then I end up like putting blinders on myself, or I end up frustrating myself because I'm trying to fit myself into someone else's box without recognizing that I have my own life, I have my own challenges, I have, a different lifestyle or different relationships, and how those things are going to affect me on a personal level. So all that to say, you have to be the judge when you're, looking for information, or you're watching these YouTube channels, or you're following other successful people in the field, to take their advice and to take their suggestions and try those things, give them a chance to reap the benefits, but also just be aware that you may need to tweak it, or you may need to apply the concept from a different angle, because you're an entirely different person than the person who's giving you that information or knowledge. So to give you guys like a personal example, I've kind of hit a ceiling with what I'm doing right now in the employment department. And like my husband and I are recognizing that if we really want to grow into, what we really want to do with all this, we're going to have to relocate. And so there's like conversations about moving to a different city, a bigger city, and all of this. I've recognized that the primary company that I'm working for is Memphis based, and there's only one location. I can't just transfer to another branch of the company. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do next when it comes to employment. So one thing that I've been thinking about is leveraging other kinds of skills and expanding my skill set out to other things that can help the development of my artistic career from a different angle, but can provide alternative employment opportunities that could give me a stable income to live, but also make larger investments in the development of this creative business in my, music career and things. So this brings up another point. We can get so fixed on one route, like this is the route I'm taking, and I can't make any alternative detours. We don't accommodate for roadblocks, you know what I mean? Don't be afraid of expanding your skill set beyond just strictly your primary craft. So for example, my husband is a producer, an audio engineer. He wants to do studio production full time. Over the past couple years, he's applied his skills in other areas from different angles, like doing audio visual installs for companies and schools and churches, doing live sound production. So these live sound gigs and these installation gigs are a bit more stable than just the studio stuff. So he's expanding his skill set outward into these other areas, actually in the long run help his primary craft in ways that he may not recognize until later. And then for me, I'm really interested in digital marketing and content creation. These are skills that are very, very important in developing an artistic career, because if you don't know how to market yourself, you can't get yourself to the right people, and you can't make money, and nothing is sustainable. And I've talked about that before on other episodes, of realizing I have no business skills and I really don't know how to actually treat this as a business, and I need to learn the skills. I need to expand my skills in that area. But what I'm realizing is, as I've started to kind of dip into that pool and gain knowledge and understanding and kind of retrain my mindset, I'm starting to recognize that there's a lot of employment opportunities in that field, that those skills are very valuable across a lot of different things and can provide some really great employment opportunities for me in the future. So in a larger city, there's going to be a lot of opportunities, a lot of like creative agencies looking for people like that. I'm recognizing, that I need to not be afraid of changing the route and kind of sidestepping and taking a detour in this direction in order to gain gain something very, very valuable that can help propel things forward in a variety of ways. So just to let you all know, don't box yourself in. Like, think about, what other skills do I need? What other skills can I gain that are going to be helpful, that I can apply to the development of my creative career and goals, but could also provide other employment opportunities for me? And are those skills attainable? Like, can I develop those in a short amount of time? You know yourself and you know your life the best. And don't be afraid to push yourself, and don't be afraid to challenge yourself, but be realistic about it. And I guess that's kind of the whole point of this episode, is to be realistic about your life and your situation and what's going to actually work for you, and take the advice that you're getting from all these other people, and don't be afraid to tweak that and apply it differently, to customize it to your situation, to maximize your growth and to maximize your progress. So with that, this has been episode 17, and that's all I got for you guys today, is just like some streamlined kind of thoughts in the moment. I had plans for this vlog for the rest of the year that I don't know if those plans are going to work out, and so I'm kind of reevaluating what episodes I'm going to do next. I had some suggestions of bringing on some guests and things, and there are some conversations of bringing some other people on the Creative Quest vlog, so that you don't just get bored of my face the whole time. But some really good friends of mine that are fellow creators that have some really great things to say too. So with that, I will see you guys next week right here on the Creative Quest.